Comfort is often the first thing we're willing to give up, like taking a long flight for a vacation or waking up early for a workout. But don't let style be the reason you aren't comfy. Mack Weldon's Ace Collection makes it effortless to look put together while feeling truly comfortable. Inspired by their best-selling sweatpants, the Ace Collection combines everyday comfort with long-lasting and confident looks. Upgrade your collection for the new year with new bomber jackets, half-zips, sweats, crew necks, and much more. Get comfortable anywhere with Mack Weldon's Ace Collection. Go to MackWeldon.com and get 20% off your first order of $125 or more with promo code MACK25. That's MackWeldon.com. Promo code MACK25.
Okay, Tom, United 1, Luton 0. Are we back?
We are. We're top of the 5-game form table.
Wow, really? Yeah, it's 4 wins out of 5 or something, isn't it?
Yeah, United, top of the league.
Wow. There's nothing in that form table that really says quality of performance, though, is there?
No. I couldn't believe it when I saw that we were top of the 5-team form table, because it feels like everything completely doom and gloom, and you see the performances, and even yesterday, not particularly amazing, but yeah, we've somehow won 4 out of 5. I mean, let's gloss over what happened in the Champions League in midweek, but
yeah. I mean, that's league only, of course, but if you include the Champions League, United have shipped 3, 3, and 4 in the last 6 games, is it? 5 or 6 games? During which Harry Maguire's apparently had a renaissance. I'm a little sceptical about this new narrative. Mm-hmm. He's played all right, but United have shipped 3, 3, and 4 in those games as well. So
yeah, there's also the fixtures as well. Like it's fine, and like he has been good, but we also just need to take into account we played Sheffield United and played Luton, we played a bad Brentford, Crystal Palace. Like it's not
and
like
Copenhagen, which you get nowhere near us. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So it's not like we've been playing the elite, but yeah, again, he did play well, and his passing was really good yesterday. Like it was a clear style that we wanted to play, clear pattern of play that we wanted to play. His diagonals to Garnacho, especially in the first half, and he played a lovely little pass to Rashford, really lovely weighted to Rashford on the right hand side where he played that cross in, it got deflected, and Højlund somehow didn't score from a couple of yards out. But yeah, he was, again, solid. But like I say, I don't want to get too carried away. And like the media seem to about, Ten Hag was wrong about Maguire kind of thing, because we have been playing weak competition.
Narratives, isn't it?
That's also the reason why we're top of the form table, because we've been playing weakness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing with Maguire is he's always been a good passer. It's the speed of thought. Obviously, on the defensive side of things, he has a problem with any kind of pace behind him. That wasn't a problem with Luton yesterday. I was actually kind of surprised they didn't play their normal game, which is just a bit more direct, getting it forward early, and they didn't really do that. And I know United had a lot of possession, and that obviously negated their ability to do it that often, but I was kind of surprised. And when they did get into forward areas, they took a lot of low XG, low chance of scoring shots from long range, and it was kind of a waste of time for them. So I was a bit surprised with that. But Harry's strengths are he does pass it well. It's just he does it a bit slowly. And I think the thing that I assume Ten Hag has been trying to drill into him is not only does he want him playing on the right side to open up different angles for passing, including that diagonal you're talking about, he just wants him to move it quicker. And if he's doing that, that's all good. Because he does, look at all the numbers, his progression via pass and carry is very, very good for a defender. And that's his strength. And we know all about the weaknesses. I guess the other surprise, since we're on defence already, is what's happened to Varane. 2 stories here seem to be, one, he doesn't like him on the left. So if Maguire's in and playing well, he doesn't want to play Varane on the left. He wants a left-footed player there, so that's why Johnny Evans is ahead of him there. And there's been a couple of stories. I don't know how truthful they are that Varane has somehow fallen out with Ten Hag. And at the same time, these links to a move to Saudi Arabia in January have been surfacing. I don't know. What do you make of that?
I feel like, yes, I feel like the narrative of, we want a left footer playing at the left side of defence is fine until you play Victor Lindelof ahead of him. Because there's
no way he's a better player on any.
No. And it's not like every single great defence from history is built on a right footer on one side, a left footer on the other side. I mean, look at our best defence that we've ever had when we had Vidic and Rio. Obviously Vidic actually was really good at playing out with his left foot, but I'm sure Varane is equally capable of doing it. And he's how many Champions Leagues has he won? 3 or 4? I don't think.
Isn't it 5?
I don't think he got 5 because I don't know. Maybe it is 5. I think Casemiro got 5, but maybe Varane got 5 as well.
Can't remember.
But he's a better defender than Lindelof on the left side. And I think he's a better defender than Johnny Evans on the left side. I mean, Johnny Evans brings the ball out and progresses it nicely, as he's always done for United. And obviously got that lovely assist playing a diagonal with his left foot to Bruno earlier in the season. But I don't buy it, really. And especially yesterday, that almost was like the nail in the coffin for me. Like, Varane has been a disappointment in some respects for United because of how glass, he's made of glass. And I guess we kind of knew that when he was coming in. But every time he's played, apart from maybe midweek when he did look really quite shaky, he's exuded class, and he's been our best defender apart from Martinez. Well, the little we've seen from Martinez.
I mean, look, he's a classy defender. There's no doubts about that, right?
Exactly. So I just don't understand it. It's not like he can only play right centre back. They're not that much different. It's not like you're moving the right centre back to the right back.
It's the dogmatic side of Ten Hag, which is a little odd because so many of his principles, I think, during this difficult period, he has kind of abandoned. I mean, United are not playing good football, right? May have won yesterday and may have had 60-something% possession, but it wasn't good football. And that's not what we expect because his Ajax side did play good football. They progressed the ball through defence to midfield to attack, and they were a good transition side and a possession dominant side. And they were very, very close to making that Champions League final in 2019. I can't remember now. Something like that. And that's kind of, I think, what we expected at United. And we saw progression towards that. And we kept saying last season, we're seeing the signs of his team coming through. We're seeing the signs. And then it got a bit difficult and he's chucked it all out the window. All those principles, except apparently he absolutely has to have a left footer on the left side of defence. It doesn't matter if it's 97-year-old Johnny Evans whose last club got relegated. No disrespect to Johnny Evans. Great bloke and fine player and all that. But he is 35 and was struggling to get in a relegation side, so it tells you something. Anyway.
Yeah, there's something going on there. And if we can get some, I mean, morally, it's not particularly amazing to go and just find a resort in Saudi to sell Varane and Casemiro to, but I don't think it's probably the worst decision to make from a business perspective to sell those two in January, looking at them right now.
Well, if they're allowed to invest some money, in bringing new players in, for sure, What did you make of, I mean, I guess the actual, although we've been talking about the defence here, it was United's attack that was pretty disappointing, really. So I saw someone on Twitter say Anthony Elanga has now got more goals than the entire United forward line this season.
He has been good.
I think just Premier League only, but still, it's not functioning, is it?
No, we did miss some really good chances in this. Like I said, Højlund missed a couple of really good chances, but it's still. I would, like you say, I was surprised by the way that Luton plays as well. I thought they would have been a bit more adventurous and a bit more in our face. And I feel like the last 20, 30 minutes when they did do that, after going behind, they actually caused us quite a number of problems. But then in the opposite respect to that, I can also understand them why they did what they did, because United are so bad against the low block. So they're probably thinking we could come to Old Trafford, sit in our low block, counter them. And they almost did take the lead in the first half, didn't they, with Morris's header, which Onana saved really well. And I guess their game plan was working so well in that respect. But from a United perspective, it's so bad that we can't break down these low blocks. And it just feels like a lack of ideas, like and which comes straight from the manager and comes from the way that he sets us out, the training pitch. What is happening on the training pitch? Because it feels like as soon as we get to that edge of the area, we play a pass inside, and then the person, whoever it is, Bruno, Rashford, Garnacho, they have a shot immediately. How often do how often do United try and when they get to that edge of the box, play a little slip through to Garnacho, to a runner in behind?
Find an overload.
It feels so rare. But also, when you look at it, it feels like there's no gaps. And that comes from completely a lack of positional structure from Ten Hag, because when City play, the players are, Guardiola's obviously very dogmatic in the way that he likes to play, because the players are very fixed in their positions. It's very much almost like American football, the way that they kind of run their routes. But United, we don't have that fixed positioning, and players are kind of running everywhere. And when you get that ball to the edge of the box, the Luton, for example, yesterday, they closed all the gaps. So it's hard to actually play the runner in behind. It's hard to get that overload because there's no spaces to play those passes. Well, so it gets to the edge of the box, and then Rashford has a shot, or Bruno has a shot and it gets blocked, or it goes over, or that's kind of what we're already all resorted to. Or the odd cross that goes in behind, like the one where I spoke about, where Maguire played the pass in behind for Rashford. But that kind of was a turnover. Well, it was a turnover in play. It wasn't us building. It was us turning it over. Maguire playing a ball in behind and us getting in behind for what I think maybe the first time in the game. It's all comes from Ten Hag's what's happening on the training ground, which seems to be nil in regards to that.
Well, I'm sure they're working on some stuff. It's just it's hard to see it on the pitch, isn't it? I do think United suffer for lack of fullbacks. I mean, I know Reguilon is all right going forward. He is not overlapping Garnacho and finding the space. So, like, I feel like United have one option all the time in wide areas, and that's part of the problem. So every single wide player we've got wants to come inside. Garnacho, Rashford, Anthony, Sancho, if he was available, which he's not, RIP. They all want to come inside, which means that if you want any width, if you don't want to struggle against a narrow, low block like Luton's, you have to have width from the fullbacks. Or one of the midfielders pulling wide, which doesn't happen either. And it does, although I'm sure there's something happening on the training pitch that we don't see, it doesn't feel like it's translating into options. Rarely are we seeing those wide players, the wide fullbacks, like offering additional options. And I know that's because of the profile of fullbacks we've got. But we had options. We've just signed Delo onto a new 5-year contract. He's not suddenly going to change. And we've got Wan-Bissaka. They apparently are going to offer another contract too. So that's us with those two for the next 5 years. Luke Shaw has historically always had injury problems. Malacia, we've seen he's not that overlapping fullback. He's actually one who wants to tuck inside. So anyway, I don't know. I think that's part of the problem. Mm-hmm. And then obviously all the forwards are out of form or just not. It's not happening for Rashford. Garnacho, I mean, he's bright in spots, wasn't he, yesterday?
Yeah.
But then the final product wasn't what we wanted it to be. Great cut inside and shot early in the game. Shot over. Should have done better, I think, than that. Højlund's just not getting the chances really, although he had two, the header and then another one yesterday where there were decent chances. I think the first one was 0.24 XG, so not a gimme, but a good chance. And it's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge when Ten Hag wants to pull him off at 60 or 75 minutes and the option is Anthony Martial. for fuck's sake. So yeah, definitely problems in the forward areas there. And then I was looking at Mark Stats on Twitter, does a really detailed breakdown of all the data, including expected threat from passing. And it's like 90% of it is Bruno. Right? So he's our only creative outlet. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. Go look at it. He does the bar chart, and it's just almost all Bruno expected threat from passing. So, and that's all Hail Marys as well with Bruno. That's just the player he is.
Yeah. That doesn't even surprise me, though it is shocking. It's also not that surprising, because you just think to the other players that we have there. I mean, there's just no one who does it. Like Eriksen can and Mount can, but you look at the others and there's very little even potential from those guys. I feel for Højlund as well. Like you say, he missed a couple of chances and he keeps getting dragged off at 60 minutes. But I feel like this is the problem that kind of we spoke about in pre-season when we signed him, was there's going to be so much reliance on him. He can't share the burden with another striker. He can't kind of bed his way into the Premier League. He can't take a game off or anything like that, because he has to be our main man immediately. And whereas, like, I feel like there's so many bright spots with him, and I'm sure he'll come good. I feel really confident in that, and I don't feel that confident in many of our signings, but I feel he's got the personality, he's got the hunger, he's got the ability. I feel like he's got everything to be a United striker. It's just at the moment, it's just not coming off for him. And like you say, there aren't enough chances for him. But then the chances that he does have just not seem to be going in at the moment. I feel like, and I feel like that's a bit the same for Rashford. Rashford got so much heat yesterday in certain Twitter circles, and I saw one if like some idiot had made a compilation of his worst touches from the game and has got like
fuck those people.
Thousands
Seriously.
of retweets and likes and stuff, and people just piling onto him every game. But I actually thought he did all right yesterday. Like there's
what are people who do that trying to achieve? I never really understood this. Like I'm going to spend probably hours taking clips
on a Saturday. What? On a Saturday evening?
You haven't got anything better to do, right? No. Like, of every mistake a player has made. Did he do a clip of all the 30 goals Rashford scored last season? Because we know what he's capable of. He's clearly going through a difficult patch on the pitch in terms of his form. Ten Hag spoke about it before the game. He also said, I know Rashford's working really hard, right? And we know Ten Hag puts a lot of store by your training performances.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not lack of effort.
And I thought he did. I thought he worked really hard yesterday, getting back in defence at times. He had a couple of really powerful shots that he had, which was saved well. On another day, a goalkeeper, especially with the way that Rashford hits the ball and it dips, like it could have easily gone under his hand and gone in. I think with both chances that I think in my head, he could have maybe whipped them into one of the corners and he maybe hit them a bit too centrally, but I think that's just a sign of an unconfident player where he kind of just hitting it to get it on target. But another day, those two go in. And then he also makes the goal. Like the way that he hits that cross in, like not many, well, I don't think maybe anyone in our team apart from Fernandes who can hit a ball like that. It caused so much chaos. Like he causes, and he put one on a dime for Højlund, albeit with a deflection. But the way that he hits the ball and the way that he causes so much mayhem, I feel like just goes completely under the radar because we know how good he can be. But still, even if he's not playing at his absolute best, he's still one of our best players. And I feel like one of the things that people get on at him all the time is his body language. My dad is also the same as that. Like my dad's a big United fan, maybe an angrier United fan than me. And he's not an online person either, so he doesn't see this like body language, like the Rashford hate online. So he's not like he's swayed by that. But my dad hates his body language, and my dad really gets on Rashford all the time, and we have a lot of arguments about that. But like, I can kind of understand it because at times he does, kind of have his head down and his shoulders are slumped and all that kind of thing. But to me, that's more a sign of a player lacking belief, lacking confidence, rather than a player who's like, oh, I can't be arsed this week or whatever. Because I feel like he really can be.
I just don't believe it either.
No.
Like You can look at the running stats. I think he's doing all right. I mean, Bruno's obviously top of that all the time. Not every single game, Bruno is, but I don't think it's lack of effort from Rashford. I never really understood the body language thing, and with Martial in particular, I started to think that there was like some darker tones to it as well, some kind of expectation of something. And I was like, I'm not sure I like this. And I'm not saying your dad's a racist, by the way, Tom.
Well, he is.
The case. Oh yeah, well, of course. Yeah. Was he?
You got it right.
Joining
Have you not listened?
Was he down at the cenotaph protecting Blighty yesterday? So.
Oh God, that would have been a form of him. Maybe I think he's slightly reformed. But
is he reformed? Yeah, good.
Reforming, maybe.
Yeah. All right, Tommy.
Well, you didn't name me after him.
You got to laugh at it just to be clear, because sometimes I get some messages going, it's gallows humour. You sometimes got to laugh at this, the darkest side of humanity. But anyway, yes, I really don't think the body language thing really adds up to much to me. He's working hard. He's not in form. I do wonder whether there's something else, because in the 2 seasons prior to last season, he had shoulder and foot injuries that weren't always really clear. A bit like when Harry Maguire in, his second season with United, had that hip problem all year and was taking painkilling injections, and that all kind of came out afterwards, and we were all like, why is he playing so bad? And I wonder whether there's something else going on with Rashford that we don't know about. I'm not saying there's definitely true, but his form slumps when he's playing injured, and so I wonder whether there's something there.
I think there's always the problem at United as well with someone like him, because he is probably our second best player behind Bruno, that we can't, when we're playing badly, and because our squad is so weak and shallow, we can't take him out the firing line. We have to play him every single game because we need him. And like Garnacho is a good option on the left, but he's not Marcus Rashford, and he's not in any form himself. Anthony obviously is not Marcus Rashford. So if this was City, for example, if Rashford was at City and he wasn't playing that well, you bring in Jeremy Doku, you bring in Jack Grealish, you bring in Phil Foden, you bring in Bernardo Silva, you bring in loads of other players who are equally as good. Whereas when I think Rashford suffers from the fact that he is so good, and when that percentage dips a little bit, it's more noticeable than when Garnacho dips a little bit, because he's coming from a height, and he is one of our best players. And the consistency, I guess, maybe is frustrating that it's not there with Rashford. But I mean, we're still getting a lot from him, and yet I think the fact that we haven't got that depth is to his detriment, because if he was, like I say, if he was a better ran club, then he'd be firing probably every single week, or if he's not, then he can come off the bench and fire and bring back confidence that way.
Well, exactly. I mean, City started with Jack Grealish on the bench today, £100 million player, and because they can rotate and bring in equal quality. I mean, lost Mahrez and sold Carlton Palmer. Cole Palmer, not Carlton Palmer.
That's
like, as I was saying that, my brain was going, I know this is not correct. I know it's not correct. Cole Palmer, Carlton Palmer, kind of hard to mix them up, but yeah, anyway. So they sold 2 very high quality players, and you don't even notice it because they brought in Doku, who just looks absolutely outstanding. I wouldn't trust United to pick that player. I mean, what do they spend on Doku? 60 million, something like that?
Yeah.
And United spent more on Sancho and Anthony. I mean, I'm being trite, but if you could have Sancho and Anthony in the team, or just Jeremy Doku playing like he is now, which would you pick? Because I think you'd get more output by having 10 players from, and it's just it's a total combination of United's transfer policy. We get it wrong all the time. So many players at ridiculous fees, and it then restricts. The reason why United had to get Eriksen on a free and Amrabat on loan and Sabitzer on loan and Val Veghorst on loan and Reguilon on loan, maybe that's more emergency, but it's because we've overspent on other players who've turned out to be not nearly as good as we hoped, and we ran out of money.
Yeah.
It's their own bloody fault. Like, it's billion pounds in the last 10 years. Some more than that, isn't it? And got less than fuck all to show for it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't blame that. You can blame it on the Glazers because it's poor management, but you can't blame it on them somehow being stingy. The club is spending its own money, and if it was competent, we would have alternatives to Marcus Rashford.
Yeah. And the problem is that it's not always the kind of the same hyper bad signing as well. Like sometimes we sign a player like Casemiro, who I think we all said at the time he's going to be good short term and not good long term. We signed a player like Sancho, who is great at Dortmund, but is a system player. We signed a player like Anthony, who we were all like, is he that good? Like we're failing in so many different departments with our signings. It's not just like one. I mean, it'd be nice if it was just one way, like we were just failing, but we're failing in everything. Playing me at school.
Wow. Yeah, I did win, by the way. I mean, amid all the doom. But
yes.
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right. The transfer policy and the ability to get the right players and to support the managers has been a systemic failure for 10 years, probably more, because before that it was all masked by Fergie's genius. And let's hope. We're told over the international break that the 25% deal for whatever Ratcliffe is buying, some mix of the public and the Glazer share, will be done and completed. And perhaps we'll get to find out a little bit more about what this new sporting structure looks like. And if it means that Arnold is fired and Murtagh is fired, neither of them could complain, honestly. I mean, maybe Arnold could complain because record revenues, etc. and so on. But Murtagh couldn't. I mean, he's had a couple of years in this job. He failed upwards. There's a good piece in the Athletic, again, looking at him and some of the structures around the club. Apparently, he's liked within the club. That means absolutely nothing to me because, like, look at all the executives who've been liked by those that hold the power at United. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think he could complain if he goes. It may well be better for it.
Yeah, and we've got to hire someone with a track record this time as well, not someone who's never had a similar type of role before at a massive club. Like, we've got to sign someone with a track record, and I'm sure that that's what Ratcliffe will end up doing.
Because someone should have said to Ten Hag when he insisted on wanting Anthony, hang on a minute, this fella hasn't even really produced anything in terms of output in the Dutch league, and it's a big jump. Are we sure? Are you really, really sure?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, with someone,
and it's okay saying we're supporting the manager, but if you're going to jump from manager to manager, which is what this club does, then we're failing the club by supporting the manager.
Yeah.
9 defeats in 18 games, so we lose 50% of our games. And this season, if that continues through to the spring, Ten Hag's gone, 100%. And I'm not saying I want him gone, but he will be gone. And so, like, the club then having brought in all these players that he wanted, what if the next dude doesn't want them?
Yes. Like, so something like the Mount signing is one of the most peculiar as well, because like Mount's coming on again yesterday for Eriksen, playing beside McTominay in that midfield, and he did okay, didn't he? He did okay, but again, it's just such a prime example of the weird transfer policy at United. Like the whole Mount thing, like the way that he's not even playing, is not even starting, like in a midfield which is really poor. And again yesterday, you think, oh, it's a great chance to start Mount and maybe build up a little bit of confidence against a poor team. But I guess we need to win so badly.
Yeah. And
we need to win so badly. And Ten Hag's thought in that moment is that Mount isn't the right player at the moment when we need desperately to win, and which is really quite a bad indictment of that signing when the midfield is so bad, when McTominay's starting a player who he tried to ship off in the summer, who tried desperately to ship off in the summer, and we all know
Yep.
isn't good enough to start for Man United every single week.
Yep.
And our star signing from the summer isn't even starting ahead of it.
I mean, I can't explain it. I feel like I'm saying the same thing every week. We had a review on Apple Podcast Reviews saying these guys say the same thing every week, basically. And I was like, yeah, we probably do, because it's so bloody obvious, isn't it? It's such a... I think when Mount came in, we were like, okay, well, he's not going to supplant Bruno in the side. We've got a £100 million right winger and an £80 million backup right winger who really wants to play on the left. So where is Mount going to play? Well, he's going to have to play at 8 because he's got more of an engine on him than Christian Eriksen. He's not quite as creative, but he's a decent passer. Clearly, after 3 months of the season, Ten Hag has already decided that Mount can't play at 8. So now we have a £60 million backup to Bruno. Or maybe he will play at 8. I mean, that's where he came on yesterday, but it doesn't appear to be where Ten Hag believes him or wants him to play or trusts him. Such an odd use of money. We did, by the way, we did need a central midfielder. It just doesn't appear to be the right one. And Amrabat is already not in the team.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And we've seen in the few games he's had his limits, and there are significant ones. And none of it actually surprises me. Because you know what? There's a lot of football on TV these days, and you can watch these players. Yeah.
I feel like
I
feel like I've been like gaslit by United's transfer policy at times, because like there's players, we spoke about it a lot. Like when Mount signed, we didn't think he was the right signing. When Amrabat signed, we didn't think he was the right signing. And when Anthony signed last summer, we kind of said the same things that kind of came into truth. But at the time, I was always doubting myself. I was like, well, surely Ten Hag knows better than me, or surely the scouting system that we have at United, the scouting network that's at United, know better than me. And then I'm not saying that I'm like an oracle or anything like that, but I'm sure most people listening to this show had the same doubts about these players that we did. But I just don't understand how the people running this football club can't see those types of things. It's baffling to me. That's why I say I feel like gaslit, because it's like, so you surely must know this. Like, it's so baffling to me.
I feel like I'm gaslit by the United Twitter account all the time. Because if you were to follow that, you'd think this was a performance for the ages yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And
the funny thing is about that Apple review is that it does feel like we do this a lot with United wins. Like when we beat Brentford 2-1, and when we beat, I can't remember the teams, Sheffield United, and when we beat Luton like this time, we should, I guess, in an alternate universe, be really happy that we've won football matches, especially when we've lost 50% of them this year. There's been very few to actually celebrate. But every single win shines forth this glaring systemic problem at United. And yesterday was another screaming example of that we have so much possession, we have so much territory, but we don't create enough chances against the team which is a championship level football club, like football team.
For sure, yeah. And
sure.
they accept it, don't they, Luton? Mm-hmm. And I think that's...
Yeah. A bit like Huddersfield a few years ago.
To be admired.
They haven't invest to when they came up, because they kind of knew, we'll give it a shot, but we don't want to extend ourselves, and we'll take the parachute money next year, and we'll take the money that we get from being in the Premier League. United should be beating these teams comfortably after creating numerous chances. We should be dominating the game. We shouldn't be conceding chances at 0-0, which could send us 1-0 down at half time. Like that's I guess why we keep talking like this, and we don't like that. We are a little bit negative after wins, because it almost doesn't feel like this season we've had a positive win. The 2-1 over Brentford felt like, in the moment, it felt so positive. It felt euphoric. Like, obviously, to win a football match like that feels amazing.
Yeah.
But again, there's so many problems that lead around that. And I can't think of, unless you can think of one off the top of your head, I can't think of a win this season, whereas I've actually been like, Oh yeah, this is a sign of this is we're back, baby. United are back, as Rio Ferdinand would say.
No, there's been moments, but not many. And Crystal Palace, but Palace did not put a full team out. So I think we'd be gaslighting ourselves if we were like, yeah, we smashed them.
Yeah.
So no, it's that's one of the shocking things, isn't it? Just how the progress that we saw this season has all fallen apart. And yeah, we can blame injuries, but I again just wonder where those injuries, the blame lies for those injuries, because I suspect it's to do with the intensity levels that Ten Hag is demanding in training, and maybe they're overworked. Given the amount of muscle injuries, and we got to talk about it yesterday, right? Looked like a hamstring problem potentially for Højlund, right? He was grabbing the back of his leg, muscle injury for Eriksen. Like, most of them are not impact injuries. And yeah, there's a problem there. If they're not, it's like 1 or 2 unlucky, 12, there's a pattern. And yeah, and other people have said it as well, who've had like noises from, I think James Rhodes over at United Muppeteers has said this a few times as well. He's heard from people that are saying that perhaps it's overloading the players in training. So I would not be surprised if this all comes out in detail at some point. This is exactly what's happening. Happened for Klopp in his second season. A mega amount of injuries until the players adjusted and he adjusted. Yeah, given the intensity levels both of the games in the Premier League and then midweek in the Champions League and hard training sessions in between, it's, might be too much.
Makes sense, doesn't it? But like I said when we were speaking about this briefly last time, if the intensity at training is super intense, why can't we see that on the field? Why can't we see that on the field?
Well, that's true. Okay, maybe they're knackered come Saturday, Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. One of the other reviews, and by the way, I'm not obsessing over these reviews. You guys, you can say whatever you like. Doesn't matter. The algo doesn't take account of it. So you can call us whatever names you like. Just hit 5 stars because it helps other people find it. Please, in fact, do it right now. I rarely call for reviews, but everyone listening to this, there's quite a few thousand of you. Go onto Apple Reviews, write a review. Another one called us 2 old boomers shouting at clouds, which
Boomer, oh my!
I have to say, I quite enjoyed.
God.
Bit unfair on you. To be fair, might not have been. I don't think he referenced you by name, so it might have been. Dan and Wayne are also in their 40s. You are not.
I was going to say it would have been unfair. That is
the
worst insult I've had since a couple of weeks ago. I called Callum the Dragon while I was playing football. Which,
wow.
That Callum the Dragon might not. Well, if you're a boomer, you probably don't know who Callum the Dragon is. He's like this TikTok guy from...
I'm shaking my head here, I don't.
He's a TikTok guy from Nottingham who is the worst goalkeeper I've ever seen. And I was playing a goal a couple of weeks ago, so I'll call me that. But a boomer is very close second. Jesus. Man.
I'm not a boomer.
How old do you have to be to be a boomer?
I'm only actually...
50, 60.
No, boomers have to, in that period after the war, right? So it's like 45 to 1960s sort of thing. That's boomers.
My parents are boomers.
And then it's Gen X. I'm only a couple of years off being a millennial, actually. Wow. I'll have you know, people. So, depending on how you define it. Wow. Young at heart, folks.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like that yesterday. I did some DIY in the house. I'm going off on a tangent here and managed to fall down the stairs. So I know. Luckily, I did not break anything. You can't see it, but I've sliced the skin off my arm.
Another United injury, eh?
Unpleasant. Yeah, but it's a very old person thing to do. I've had a fall.
Yeah, at least it was an impact injury rather than a muscle injury, so.
Well, exactly. I don't get muscle injuries. See, there you go.
Maybe we should, yeah.
That's because I'm not training hard enough.
Is it your training regime or the lack of training regime?
Well, no, I have a gym in the house. So when we moved into this place, I built a gym. And so I'm in there quite often.
Nice.
I got Peloton and weights and other stuff. And my target is top 5% on anything. Cool. So there you go.
Imagine if United could be top 5% of anything.
It would be good, wouldn't it? That'd be like second in the Premier League. Don't think that's going to happen this year.
Unlikely.
No, sadly. I mean, we need results to go our way, don't we? As well as a major pickup in our form. Because what have we got? I'm just looking at the table here. 21 points up to 12 games. That's going to be mid-60s who will carry this form that will not get United into the Champions League. So,
but if you look at the other teams, though, like
better.
It's hilarious that we're above Newcastle. There's all that praise that club gets. I mean, they obviously get a lot of hate, and quite rightly so, and a lot of the media do pick up on them. But so much of the media just absolutely lavish praise on Eddie Howe, and it drives me nuts. But yeah, and then
all their smart signings and all the work they're doing on the training ground.
He's getting all the players to listen to the High Performance podcast with Jake Humphrey. Like, sounds like the worst idea in the world. And
I mean, they probably play that to political dissidents in Saudi, don't they? You know, confess your sins or we'll make you listen to Jake Humphrey. Oh no! I'd confess it to anything rather than have to listen to that absolute what's it.
But then I feel like Tottenham are going to be found out. I feel like love Ange as a bloke, seems like a great guy, but I feel like people are eulogizing about him way too much at the moment. Like,
I do like he completely falls into the Aussie stereotype of saying mate every second word.
And then people fall as well, like or swooning for him. Oh, look at him playing such a high line against Chelsea. We could have lost about 10-1, but he did such a great job. And I feel like without Maddison,
I mean, they didn't lose 10-1, by the way, in that game because it took Chelsea way too long to work out they just need a third man runner.
No, exactly, yeah. And they have to really put it on a plate for Jackson to actually score a goal, because anything further than 5 yards out and then it blaze it over the bar. But without Maddison, I think Tottenham will struggle a little bit. And like I said, I think they will be found out a little bit. I think once that new manager bounce, I feel that they have got at the moment starts to dissipate and their belief goes, I think they will drop down. I think,
and they don't have the squad.
No, I think there's a potential that we could finish above them. Yeah. I think that we obviously could finish above Newcastle. We're above them already and we're playing terribly. So I think top four is definitely an opportunity. I feel like City, Arsenal and Liverpool are going to be the ones to be in there, and fourth place is going to be up for grabs. But there's definitely a chance we could get top four, even playing in a bad season, because the competition isn't that great. Like, I think even Villa had potential to get that. Chelsea, you never know if they start to pick up, because they are.
Doesn't look like they're doing. As we speak, they are drawing with City.
I have my doubts over that, but the top four is definitely potential.
Yeah, funny thing is, at the beginning of the season, I thought I might slip back, and it would be, even though the team might progress, you obviously think, well, we made a few signings, we should progress. We got the number 9 we wanted. I figured the additional competition this year, I am not surprised Liverpool are doing well. They made some good signings. They made some good signings prior to that in forward lines, and they just had to come good. But they made the signings they needed to do in midfield, and they are looking much more like a Klopp side now. And unfortunately, without sounding like I'm praising Liverpool too much, because I really don't want to do that, Klopp kind of knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, sadly. So, yeah. All right. Well, that was 45 minutes of getting some stuff off her chest, wasn't it? No game to preview. So we've got international break coming up. I don't know whether that's good or bad for United. I mean, I'm hoping it would be nice if a few United players found some mystery injuries and had a little bit of a break. But I mean, obviously Eriksen and Højlund look like they're out, I presume. I don't think we've had word on like how serious either of those injuries are. Hopefully not.
Not seen it yet, no.
No, they tend to keep it close. Ten Hag likes to keep it close to his chest, doesn't he? On what exactly is the nature of an injury. So, yeah. And a couple of weeks' time, obviously, Shaw is 2 weeks closer to being fit again. Whew. Hopefully. I guess, well, they're all Shaw, Malacia, Martinez, Casemiro, all an extra 2 weeks. I don't think we'll see any of them before the new year, right? That's what they're saying. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it, I guess. Backers, patreon.com/NQ80pod if you'd like to back us. If you just like what we do, it's £1. If you want to have the extra show, I think it's $4. It's Forex, so it's $5, £4, and there's merch for anyone else. We have a store, nqatpod.com/merch, if you want to get mugs and t-shirts and some other stuff, if you fancy it. No pressure, folks. Thanks a lot. Bye now. And
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.